Alright, drafting again, still opening another pack of M12 here. Um, there's a couple of options here. I think the best cards in the pack are either Arachnus Web, Crown of Empires, or I guess the Fire Slinger. Starting off with the Fire Slinger can easily push you into the Black-Red, Bloodthirst archetype. And, that archetype's fine and all, although I think it's kind of overdrafted right now. Crown of Empires is nice if you want to keep yourself open, and I think that might be the pick here. I like Arachnus Web, but I don't want to, commit to green right off the bat, and Crown of Empires is pseudo-removal in the same vein as Arachnus Web, so I think I'll take that and see where it goes. Alright, well, I'm glad I kept my options open. The best cards in this pack are obviously Doomblade and Fireball, as well as Phantasmal Image. Phantasmal Image is worth about like $4 right now, so I don't know if it's right to take it over Fireball. I think I won't. Fireball's probably strictly better. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the Fireball. Here we're seeing blues still open. We've got Aether Adept and Merfolk Leader still in the pack. Honor of the Pier is okay, but we're, not even in white. I think I'll just take the Aether Adept. Merfolk Leader is good and all, but Aether Adept is just absurd. Couple of options here. We can get a Devouring Swarm and kind of go into the blue-black control archetype that I tend to like drafting in this format. Probably have to pick up like a Manolith if we want to splash this Fireball. Other options would be taking something like Turn to Frog just to keep our color options open, or maybe even cancel or negate. Don't really know what the correct pick is. I know that we want to splash this Fireball, so if we ended up in, or if we knew we were playing green, I might take the dual land. I think I'm just gonna take the Turn to Frog. It's not the worst card, and every now and then, unless you just get them. Seeing that black's kind of open here, but Jace's Archivist is actually pretty broken, and I'm happy to take it here. We'll see if we can abuse it. Let's see, Archivist works pretty well with the Milling archetype if we want to kind of jump into that and take the Merfolk Mesmerist here. Other options would be something like taking the Rock Egg. It's just a blocker. There's not really anything else I'm interested in the pack. I don't want to play the Bang Chuckers. I think I'm going to take the Mesmerist. More likely to be good in this deck than anything else, I think. Here, I think the pick is Phantasmal Dragon. It is, I mean, admittedly a kind of vulnerable creature, just like all the Phantasmal creatures are. But, Ice Cage has the same downside, and we already kind of have some weak removal spells in this form of Crown of Empires and Turn to Frog, and Phantasmal Dragon can be a win condition if they don't deal with it immediately, so who knows, maybe we'll pick up Lord of the Unreal. Happy to take Skywinder Drake here. This guy's actually a fine win condition in and of himself, if you can get him past some of the other random 2/2 flyers in the format. Not really seeing any other signs. I guess there's a couple of green cards here, but, late Warpath Gulifari Hellhound doesn't make me think that either of those colors is really open. Going to take the Ponder here, and it's going to help us make the Fireball Splash probably a little bit easier and just kind of smooth out some of our draws. I mean, if I know I was going to get one here, I'd probably just take cancel, but seeing this Rampant Growth here is pretty late, and I think I'm going to take that. It's going to make us splash Fireball easy, a little bit more easily if we end up in green, and I don't really need the second Ponder. Here, I'm just going to take Smallpox, because sometimes it can be annoying against the right deck. Happy to take Negate here. Just take land. Probably not playing the Smallpox, even if we end up in black. Love to see a rare here. And last pick Mountain. So pack 1 was okay, we started off trying to be open with the Crown of Empires, and then get past Fireball, which kind of leaves you open to, anyway, because it's so easy to splash, and solidified ourselves in blue, not necessarily tied to green, although it would be nice to splash Fireball, etc., but we'll see what we open for pack 2. Alright. So there's some there's a couple options to look at here. Best card in the pack, I think, is Sarah Angel. It's clear win condition. It's probably going to be what we take just because, again, we're not really tied to anything and it doesn't prevent us from splashing the fireball. The other option, I guess, would be the Shock, but I think Shock in power level is just so far below the Sarah Angel that it's not worth taking, even though we already have one red card. Nothing blue that I would even considering, or that I would even consider it from this pack. So I will just take Sarah Angel and be happy with it. Ouch. Maybe we won't be happy with it. Stinger Fling Spider is definitely the best card in this pack, and next best card is probably Soren's Thirst, but we're not really into black, and I don't want to just hop around from color to color. We do already have the one Rampant Growth, and the next best card, if we didn't take Stinger Fling Spider, would probably be, I mean, it's Soren's Thirst, but we probably wouldn't take it, so maybe, I guess, Mana Leak. But Stinger Fling Spider, again, so much better in power level than any of the other cards that it's worth just going out on a limb and seeing if we can make something happen. Here, we're looking at either the Chasm Drake, the Stampeding Rhino, or I guess maybe the Greater Basilisk. I think I'm just going to take the Chasm Drake. It's a really good win condition, and you know, if we do end up playing green-blue, there's a lot of just green fatties that sometimes you just want to give flying and swing for the win. Plus, we're a little light on creatures right now. Yeah, alright, well, we're definitely playing green at this point. Seeing an overrun this late is just kind of absurd. I'm not happy that we have to pass the Skylander Drake because we're probably not going to get it back, and we need to start picking up a little bit of removal, which is kind of hard in blue-green, but hopefully we can make it work. It doesn't look like Sarah's going to be getting played. Huh. So we could take another Phantasmal Dragon here or a second Rampant Growth. There's a lot of good red cards here, which makes me think that maybe red's open, but with the green cards that we already have, I really want to play the green. I think I'm just going to take the Phantasmal Dragon. Really hope that we can somehow get a Lord of the Unreal here, but who knows if it'll happen. Wow. 6-pick Azure Mage doesn't seem like it can be right. Not taking the Basilisk or the Chasm Drake. Azure Mage is just so good in this format. It can be an aggressive beater if you need it to, or trade with a Bloodthirst guy, you know, you're kind of behind. And then obviously in the long game, it can just take over. Alright, so it seems like green is still the color to be in. Seeing a giant spider this late is a little unreal, and happy to take him. Alright, as if we needed any more indication. I mean, there's land worlds here. Again, there is a shock, and it may be right that we're supposed to take the shock here, but I don't know. I mean, I kind of think that this deck's going to want the consistency a little bit more, and splashing for multiple red cards means the mana is going to be a little bit worse, even though we do have the Rampant Growth. I'm just going to take Land Worlds. Plus, we're short on guys, and in a deck that's trying to overrun, we just want more bodies. Here, I'll take the Amphin Cutthroat. This guy stops everything on the ground. Not the best creature to be overrunning with, but you have to have good blockers until you can get to the overrun. There's a chance that he'll get cut anyway, so we'll see. Here we have an option of Titanic Growth or Negate. We already have one Negate. Titanic Growth is good against illusion creatures, including the ones that we have, so we wouldn't want anyone playing this against us. I'm going to take the Greater Basilisk here. This guy's surprisingly hard to deal with in this format, and if you land one and they don't, you know, kill him off immediately, sometimes he can take over a game. It's a little weird that these cards would all be here. I think they're all relatively playable, but Ring Flesh is the best one of them all, and I'm just going to hate that. I'd rather face off against a Hellhound than a Mind Rot. Just hate that. Alright, so pack 2 wasn't the greatest. You know, we dabbled around in another color for a second, but ended up kind of in green. Don't have the best cards right now that we got from pack 2. I don't really want to play. Wow, okay. I was going to say I don't really want to play the Titanic Growth or the Amphin Cutthroat right now, but we opened a Jace. I guess that's all that really matters. Some other good cards in this pack, obviously. There's Pacifism, Incinerate, Bell Tower Sphinx is probably the best card for us if the Jace weren't here. But yeah, there's Jace. Let's see. So, following up Jace was a pretty bad pack. Could take another Mesmerist in the event that we want to try and mill them, and now that we actually have Jace, that's kind of a better strategy. Otherwise, we'd be taking something like Plummet, which is just an excellent sideboard card. I mean, Merfolk Mesmerist is kind of decent in the fact that it can, we can win by milling them to death in combination with the other Mesmerists and the Jace and the Archivist. Or, I guess, it's still a body that gets through for some overrun damage. So, yeah, I'll take that. I mean, Plummet's really, really good from the sideboard, but still a sideboard card. Here, there's not that much to look at. I mean, there's Phantasmal Bear versus Aven Fleetwing, I guess. Aven Fleetwing I was a little bit more impressed with in the earlier days of the format, but now it just seems like, unless you get, like, Dark Favor on him or something, then he's just trading with other flyers, and Hexproof isn't that great. I think if we're trying to kill them off with either an Overrun or a Fireball to the face, then getting through for a bunch of damage with the Phantasmal Bear is probably going to be more helpful than just another flyer. Yeah, I mean, this might seem a little incorrect, but I think taking the bear here is going to lead to some better scenarios in the future. Here, this is a little tough. We've got a Merfolk Looter versus Azure Mage. I still think Azure Mage is just a little bit better. So it's still an Aegis Angel in this pack, too. Wow. Yeah, this is actually pretty tough. I think I'm just going to take the second Azure Mage again. It's, better with Overrun. It's a beater. Merfolk Looter is really good, though. Not really anything for us in this pack. Could just hate a Flyer or a Griffin Rider. I don't really think we're going to be playing a second negate if we took it. And Autumn's Veil's not even very good from the sideboard. I think I'll just hit Combust. Sometimes we may end up actually bringing it in too, because it's in a color we're splashing. Here we could take the Garrick's Companion or the Jace's Erasure. I think Garrick's Companion is going to have a bigger impact, even though we do kind of have a... I'd like to keep the milling as kind of an alternate win condition rather than our primary one. And Garrick's Companion is a really good beater, works well with Overrun, etc. Not much here for us. I guess we could hate a Fog so that people don't have an out to our Overrun. But I think we're going to have a bigger problem with things like Drifting Shade. Not really anything here for us. I think I'm just going to hate the Dignitary. Oh, I'm happy to take in Summon here. It's surprisingly good in this format. Not much here. Just take another Combust for the sideboard. Oromancer is a pretty good card in the right deck, so take that. Don't mind taking a bear here. Hated Distress. So pack 3 went decently well. I mean, we got a couple of cuts that we need to make here. Right now, I think it's going to be things like Titanic Growth, which is bad with our phantasmal creatures. Let's see here. It's possible we could just cut both of the Mesmerists and not even mess around with the milling strategy. But I think the Amphion Cutthroat should get cut first because it's just a worse Giant Spider, really. I think we have a good combination of cards to make the milling strategy somewhat viable, and obviously if you land Jace, he's probably just going to win you the game. I think we need to cut... in an Overrun deck, I like having a pretty good density of creatures, so having 17 is fine. So I think the things that we need to cut are going to be the non-creature spells that just kind of don't do much, like... I'll take a Lifelink here. I mean, Turn to Frog is cute and all, but I guess, I don't know, it's one of the only removal spells that we have in here. Alright, we'll see about it when we get to deck building.